Welcome back to the Journey to the FarLands. Alright, okay. Bunch of stuff. Get out of here. Oh, we have a spider. How about that? Where is he? Okay, it's daytime. They shouldn't be hostile. Get rid of them anyway. Okay, now let's get this thing closed up. Terrible. Okay, now let's see, going this way on account of that's west. And we are moving onwards to the FarLands. Alright, this is a great opportunity to throw away some stuff that I don't need. Okay, good. I don't think I need more than one stack of cobble, honestly. There we go. Moving onwards. And starting things off right. The size of the world this morning is 4,715.45 megabytes. And this is the morning of the 391st Minecraft day since leaving spawn. As we continue westward, walking to the FarLands, raising money for Child's Play charity, and generally enjoying the Minecraft Beta 1.7.3 terrain generation, because it is awesome. And it looks really cool. As a matter of fact, that might be a thumbnail. How about that? All right. And in keeping with a recently established tradition concerning my efforts at weight loss and the fact that I am reporting each day the calories I've had the day before and my weigh-in for that morning. So my weigh-in for today, for this morning, my weight is 291.0, which is down a little bit more. That's great. And calories yesterday, 2,045. That's not quite so great, because it should have been a little lower than that. But I'm not complaining. Everything seems to be going well. And the weight's coming down. Slow, but definitely sure. It be happening. All right. Enjoying that. And also, I have to say that this Journey to the FarLands episode is probably going to be late getting to YouTube. As in, not arriving in the morning the way I like it to. And that's because, well, I took considerably longer than I had anticipated in getting a Creativerse episode recorded this morning. And so here it is, quite a bit after 10 o'clock in the morning as I'm recording this, because I had originally anticipated starting the recording of this by 9:30 or 10 o'clock in the morning, and here it is a fair bit after that, and I'm just now getting started, as it took me longer to do the recording part of the Creativerse episode. Shut up, cow. Yes. Oh. Whoa. Okay. Here we go. What I said about thumbnail before, I changed my mind. Thumbnail. Yeah. I love that. Minecraft Beta Terrain Gen, you do not fail me yet. and some epic desert terrain, apparently. Either that or it's a really epic beach. Well, let's get up here and find out. Anyway, oh yeah, big desert. Okay, well, proceeding onwards here, trudging through the deserts of Minecraft, Minecraftio, whatever. Yeah, having a good time with that. Love this terrain. It's beautiful to walk through. Wouldn't want to spend the night in it, but I don't. So, not a problem. Anyway, been having a little bit of, not quite a whole lot of fun in the adventure with YouTube, because their new thing about videos that they have deemed not suitable for all advertisers becoming partially or completely demonetized. On the face of it, you know, I have to admit that they do have a point. But it's not the point that I have an issue with. It's the implementation of that. Because when videos that are very clearly not of the kind of thing that they're trying to eliminate get eliminated anyway. Well, not eliminated. They're not deleting stuff or removing things. They're just saying, no, this isn't eligible for monetization, or the ads are going to be very limited, or whatever, you know. It's the fact that this thing is, it's hitting stuff it shouldn't. And once in a while having a false positive, you can see it. You know, you can see where anything like this, you're going to have false positives. It's just going to happen, occasionally at least. But to have it get to the point where somebody, take for example, somebody whose videos are always of the family-friendly variety, that there is no things in those videos that even remotely qualify as being controversial well, not even controversial, things about the nasty stuff that they don't want. There's a half a dozen, there's like dozens of things. I can't think of any of them right now that I'm on the spot talking about it, but you know what I mean. You know, excess violence and doing a lot of things that advertisers don't want. You know, I understand that. But you take somebody whose videos just plain don't do that. Like, for example, someone who plays Minecraft. And in the Minecraft that they do, what they're doing is building. They're exploring, adventuring, and building. And there isn't anything about that that, seriously, there's nothing about that qualifies as not advertiser friendly. But I have seen a number of Minecrafters who fit that description very nicely, and I'm sure that most people out there can probably name 2 or 3 Minecrafters at least that fit that description. They don't use a bunch of foul language, and the videos are totally family friendly, and like I said, it's building, exploring, a little adventure here and there, maybe an occasional prank, you know, that sort of thing, but it's none of this stuff that YouTube is trying to not monetize, but it getting flagged anyway. I've seen a lot of Minecrafters talking about this and about being hit by this, and it is, well, let's just say it's not building positive morale. It really isn't. And the reason for it happening is that obviously, of course, with YouTube having something like, well, the last numbers I heard, and this number just keeps going up and up and up, but the last numbers I heard on the subject was something like 400 hours worth of video being uploaded every minute. That's a lot of video. And obviously, of course, there is no way under the sun that anybody or anything is going to be able to do any kind of manual moderation on that scale. It just isn't happening. Nobody could afford to hire enough people to do it. It just is never going to happen. It would be good if it did, but it's just, no, it's unreasonable. You know, it's like expecting somebody to count the number of hydrogen atoms in the universe. That ain't going to happen either. You know why? Because there is more hydrogen in the universe than there is everything else combined. You know, so obviously that ain't never going to happen. Just like that, ain't nobody ever going to expect anyone to do manual moderation of YouTube video uploads. It can't happen because there's too many of them happening too fast. I get that. So they've got an AI, a bot doing it. And really, it's the only way to do it. Because you don't want to handle, you don't want to like crowdsource the moderation. It, you know, people would get nuked just because they don't like somebody. Hello. And that sort of thing. But the problem is the AI on this bot. I certainly hope it is of a learning variety, some kind of machine learning kind of thing, because if it is, then sooner or later, eventually, I'm not going over there at all, ever, sooner or later, eventually, with tuning, then the number of false positives will drop to a point where it's not going to have people panicking, saying, oh, YouTube is dead. No, YouTube is not dead. YouTube is not going to be dead at all, ever, because it is just so friggin' big. You know what I mean? It's huge-mongous. It's just like if somebody were to say, well, Google's going to go out of business because they did such and such. Do you have any idea how big Google really is? It ain't going no place. Even if we wanted it to, which, frankly, you may think you want it to, but I got a sneaky feeling that you really don't. And, you know, nothing really to base that on, just the simple fact that they are so huge and they're into so much, and that was not working out the way I wanted it to. I was looking for a... There we go. Now I can just get up there. There. See, I just wanted to way up. Yeah, anyway. That's one of the things that I've heard people saying, you know. This demonetization thing, it's going to kill YouTube. YouTube is going to die because of it. No, it isn't. Regardless of how good or bad an idea it is, regardless of how well or poorly it's implemented, it isn't going to hurt YouTube one little bit. If anything else, if anything, it will, over time, get YouTube more advertisers. And trust me, as users of YouTube, especially as uploaders, we want this. We do. We want this. Because more advertisers is good all the way around. It means more opportunities for videos monetized and so on. And I think a lot of what's going on with this demonetization thing is that this automation that's doing it, this bot that's doing it, this AI, whatever, like I said, it needs tuning. It needs a lot of tuning to refine its judgment, as it were. If a machine thing like that can be said to have any kind of judgment, it needs to be refined. Yeah, oh, I forgot. Would you believe I tried to left shift to get out of that boat? And you don't use left shift to get out of a boat in this version. It's right click. Anyway, yeah. So I think that over time it's going to smooth out and it will get better. Just like a lot of things that YouTube has done and implemented over the years. It shakes out in the end. I really think it does, and I believe it will. Because something this big is not going anywhere. Anyway, and by the way, I've been hit by that demonetization thing myself as well, although not to the extent that some have. Like, for example, on this channel, on the vlog channel, I've got something in the neighborhood of, I want to say somewhere around 1,850 videos on this channel. And I think the demonetizer bot thing, process, whatever, has nailed about something like 18 or 20 of them out of all that. And, you know, it's not a huge deal. For the most part, untouched. And it's similar on the gaming channel. Comparatively few have been hit by that. And quite a number of them that have been hit, I've clicked the button to request a review, a manual review, and quite a number of them have had their monetization restored. So this is evidence of that bot being tuned. You know, you set up a machine learning thing and it makes determinations based on the rule set and whatnot that it's given. And then the way you tune that thing is you tell it when it's made a mistake, when it's made a determination that was not correct, and it revises its internal rule sets and whatnot, and weightings and so on and so forth, and over time it becomes more accurate until finally inappropriate demonetization doesn't happen anymore, or at least not often enough to be talked about very much. And I do honestly believe that over time, I think they'll get there. Well, let's put it this way. They have to get there. They have to get that sorted out because too many people are screaming about it. I do wish, however, that YouTube was a little bit more transparent in terms of communication. Communicating with content creators, uploaders, whatever, you know, whatever you want to call them, or us, you know, those of us who upload, who create content and upload. It would be nice if there was a little better, more clear and transparent communication. Instead, like for example, they say refer to the YouTube community guidelines and that'll tell you what you need to know. And you look at that and what you get is vague statements painted with a broad stroke, you know, that, yeah, it tells you what they're saying, but it's expressed in such broad, wide-reaching, and frankly, sometimes somewhat vague terms that sometimes I can't help but to think that it would be nice to say, okay, here's an example of a list of words that this thing is going to nuke anything that uses them. Of course, I understand in another respect why they don't publish something like that, because if they did, people would use that to disguise whatever it is they were doing for real and just not get nuked. I don't know. On the one hand, you want much clearer, more precise information. On the other hand, in some ways, they've got good reason for not providing it, because it would be used to make sure that even things that need to be not allowed were allowed. I don't know. I guess the long and the short of it is, nothing is perfect, and the whole thing will work out in the end. I really do believe it's going to. And if it turns out that it doesn't, or doesn't return to some kind of acceptable level of things, then a lot of people are going to do what some people have already started doing, and that is finding other ways to do things. Other alternatives. I know of some people that have decided, for example, that they're going to invest their time and creativity streaming on Twitch 100% of the time instead of doing YouTube. Others are doing it in addition to. But even then they're thinking, a lot of them anyway, are thinking about kind of hedging their bets a little bit about what YouTube is up to. Now, as for me, my recent decision to start live streaming again, to be totally honest, has nothing to do with any of that. I decided to start trying to live stream again because I enjoyed doing it, and I wanted to try it again. And so far, it seems to be okay. This being the first weekend of that. My headset just got really loud. This way, not that way. Anyway, I feel like I've been almost ranting and going on about this or that seriousness, being all serious and whatnot for the whole time today so far. And that's no good. Whoa. Oh boy. Alright, step first. Step one. Let's get away from that. Step two. Look where you're frickin' walking. Gee, many Christmas. Just imagine if there had been a lava pool at the bottom of that. That would have been less than wonderful. And there could easily have been a lava pool at the bottom of it. For that matter, there could have been a spawner full of skeletons or something down there. That would have been, frankly, as bad as the lava. Oh boy, I gotta pay more attention to what I'm doing, where I'm going, and to how much garbage I'm carrying in my inventory. Yeah, that's better. In other news, in the new Kerbal space program career that I have started on my Twitch channel, that's twitch.tv/TinFoilChef, shameless plug. Yeah, that. Things have gotten started, and I started off right off the bat with doing something that I have never seen anybody playing KSP do. I went into the astronaut complex building and I fired Jebediah Kerman. There will be no Jebediah Kerman in that save. I fired him. And the history behind that, there is a little history behind that. I got fed up with him several versions ago, and I started doing things to put him off to one side. You know, like position him, set him up on a station and just leave him there for the whole save. Or put him in some kind of a special craft that was launched from the runway and driven off to the side and allowed to sit in the Space Center grounds where he was imprisoned for the entire time of the whole save. And things like that. And I decided that I needed to do something more permanent this time. And besides, Jebediah Kerman is, in my opinion, insane. And I say that because one of the reasons he was fired is that he's been ranting around lately, in addition to the fact that he has been known to sabotage his own craft so that he can do the daring save thing, you know. The glory hound thing, do the daring save of the disastrous flight and whatnot, that he sabotaged, of course. And so on. One of the things he's been doing, that he had been doing recently, is he's been doing more and more of this, is talking about aliens. Now, you can imagine what someone talking about aliens, someone who works at a space center, who works for a space program, talking about aliens. You know this is not the kind of thing that you want to get out to the press. And yeah, he is talking to everybody about these weird aliens. Tall, black aliens with purple eyes and a bad attitude. Now, who ever heard of such a weird thing as that? Who in the world ever heard of tall, black aliens with purple eyes? I mean, how preposterous can you possibly get? And how precarious can I possibly get? Now I've got to dig my way over to where there's a safe way down. and it ain't there. All right, moving on. So, in light of all of that, at the very beginning of that save on Twitch this last Saturday afternoon, I stopped into the astronaut complex at the Kerbal Space Center. And have a very short conversation. Specifically, Jebediah Kerman, you're fired. And yeah, honestly, one of the reasons I did it was because I've never seen anybody else do it. I've watched a lot of Kerbal Space Program video and a lot more Kerbal Space Program Twitch streams, and I have never seen anybody fire Jebediah Kerman. As a matter of fact, I've never seen anybody fire any astronaut. So I figured, why not? Let's do that. And it occurs to me it's getting late. Yeah, this will be a good spot. Really. Okay. Another light. And there. Okay. Let's get this thing in order here. A little bit more planks. I should go hunting up logs next time. No. Okay, that's all well and good. There we go. All right, get this back, and that'll be about it. And I don't know. I don't suppose there's much chance of me getting this thing uploaded by the time noon comes around, but I'll give it the old try. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Take it easy. I am out of here.